So I'm audible, right? Okay. Yeah. Hello. Can you message me whether I'm audible or not? Hello. Hello. Can you message me? Rahul, can you hear me? Sir, my audio is not. Your audio is not working. So you can't hear me. Can't hear me, right? Whether you can hear me or not. You can just I know type it. I can see that in the chat section box. Okay, so we were discussing in the first chapter, that is mechanisms, and what are the motions in the mechanisms, right? Yeah. So all of you can just tell me whether you can hear me properly or not. Any one of you.
I'm hearing, sir.
Okay, you can write in the chat section. Right. So in the first chapter, we discuss different mechanisms. What is the degree of freedom? What is a link? What is a kinematic link? What is the difference between these two? What is a kinematic pair and what is a kinematic chain? And how to get the inversions of the mechanism. So quickly, can both of you can tell me, like from which college you are from, like, and from which particular branch? Mechanical, right? Both of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so in this section, we were just discussing the different mechanisms, and we got to know there is a one mechanism for the single stranded crank mechanism. Which link we are fixing? Can you tell me in crank slotted lever mechanism? Can you just tell me which link we are fixing actually? You know that how we get the inversions of the mechanism by fixing different links. So in the same format, can you just tell me by fixing which link we are getting what? Crank slotted lever mechanism. Tell me. So this is a no piston cylinder arrangement is there. This is a connecting rod and this is a crank. You know single threaded crank mechanism, right?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no? Right. And so this is your first class, I think, Rahul, right?
Yes, yes.
So you have not attended any previous classes
This is the
of
first
fluid
time.
mechanics or any other classes?
No, sir, this is the first time. Just I want to see how you are teaching.
Okay, okay,
I'm currently working in Wipro Enterprises as a quality engineer.
okay, 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 fine. So see, this is a piston slider crank mechanism. We have the connecting rod here, and this is we are having crank, right? And both the this crank are connected to this ground support that is nothing but what? A revolute pair, and there is a prismatic pair is there between what? Piston and cylinder. And in between the connecting rod and the piston, there is a revolute pair, right? What is happening when I fix this link? That is this connecting rod. If I fix it, so what I will be getting what? Crank and slotted lever mechanism. So whatever the connecting rod is there, this connecting rod is what? Fixed. By fixing this one, we are getting what? Crank and slotted lever mechanism. What is the purpose of crank and slotted lever mechanism? To cut the what? Material from the surface. Yes or no? In the machine tool laboratory, what you have seen? Any machine, where we have used this crank and slotted lever mechanism or other mechanism like Whitworth quick return motion mechanism, shaping and slotting
Transmission.
machine, shaping and slotting machine. Yes or no?
Yes, yes. Milling machine also we use. Press
Milling,
machine.
yeah. In that case also we can use.
Press machine crank.
Yeah. So actually, the discussion of this mechanism is that this is the connecting rod, which is fixed one. Now this is what we are making this. This is a crank, and this is slider. And with the slider, we are attaching one more link, that is extended link, which is connected to the what? Ram. Now what is happening due to the motion of this mechanism? The ram is moving what? Front and back. The front motion we are calling what? Cutting stroke. And whatever the return stroke is, there is what? Idle stroke. That is where no cutting action is taking place. To define this mechanism efficiency or effectiveness, we define one term, quick return motion mechanism or quick return ratio. You know what is the meaning of this? Quick return ratio. You know what is the meaning of this? Not time for the cutting stroke. Hello, I'm not audible.
Ah, yes, sir. Now it's audible.
Yeah. I'm saying that you know what is a quick return motion mechanism or what is a quick return ratio?
Yes, sir.
What is that? It is a ratio of two things. What is that two things? See, it is a ratio of time for the cutting stroke, time for cutting stroke to the ratio of time for the return stroke. Now, ideally, if you think that for any good efficiency of the machine or for saving the power consumption, what should be the quick return ratio? It should be greater than one or less than one. The time for the cutting stroke should be more than time for the return stroke, or time for the return stroke should be more than time for the cutting stroke. See, ideally, what we are assuming that whatever the machining is taking place, that will be taking place what? Whatever the material removal is taking place, that is taking place in cutting stroke. So what we are assuming, the time for the cutting stroke will be always more than time for the return stroke. As soon as the machining is finished, whatever the this ram is there, ram should come at the what? Original position as soon as possible, right? So just note down, quick return ratio will always be greater than one. And how to find the quick return ratio? That we are going to see. Whatever the angle turned by this crank, you know that omega into t from the kinematics. Omega is constant, right? For all this stroke. So theta we can say directly proportional to what time, right? So I can directly tell that time for the cutting stroke is nothing but what is directly proportional to the angle turned by the crank during cutting stroke. And what is the angle turned in this figure? If you see what is the angle turned during this figure?
Crank
Same.
length.
No, alpha or beta. Let me draw it. If you see clearly, this is the
Beta.
fixed.
Beta.
No, no,
Beta.
no. See. It is starting from, let's say, here, right? Now, what is happening? Beta is what? What is beta? Let me draw it.
Moving.
This is a slotted arm length, right? What is this? This is connecting rod. This is crank. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is happening? Yeah. Now you know that what your annotation request. See, this is nothing but cutting angle, that is alpha. From this diagram, that is beta. And the return stroke is what? Alpha. Now, so what I can write? Quick return ratio, I can write beta by alpha. Yes or no? Yes or no? And which is
Yes, sir.
greater than 1? Which is greater than 1? Now, what I can write, if you see from the diagram, from the geometry of the figure, if you see, this is what 90° we are having, right? So what I'm going to make, this is 90°, this is what? Alpha by 2. This is the crank radius, and let me call this what? Let's say A P Q. APQ triangle. In this APQ triangle, this is what? Connecting rod length. Yes or no? Let me call L. What is the cos alpha by 2? R by L. Yes or no? Check it out. What is cos alpha by 2? Cos alpha by 2, if you write, you will be getting what? Base by hypotenuse. Yes or no? Can you check it out from the figure?
Here LR is the capital LR, where it is went.
This is L.
That's
L is
okay,
nothing
sir.
but
Uh,
connecting rod
caps
length.
LR. Okay, okay. CR connecting rod length.
Connecting
Okay.
rod. No down. L is nothing but connecting rod length. Connecting rod length. R is what? Crank radius. So you have just gone through this theory of machine for the gate examination, right?
No, sir. I passed in 2017. My degree finished.
So after
After
that,
that, I'm working.
okay.
I
So you have
don't have.
not joined. So you joined first time this IT gate classes.
Yes, yes, sir. I'm interested to study on
Okay,
gate only, but I'm
okay,
not
okay,
getting the time for daily
okay. No.
purpose.
So you joined recently that gate classes.
Yes, sir. You are from, sir?
I am from Chhattisgarh.
Okay. You are
That is
a
Bhilai.
lecturer. Okay, you are a lecturer,
No, no, no.
professor.
Actually, no. Actually, basically, I was working in organization, but I left for teaching purpose. And again, I passed off from NIT Tiruchirappalli, that is MTech in thermal power engineering.
Okay, okay. You have cleared gate, right?
Yeah. That is, I passed out in 2016 BTech.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. So this is the what we have from geometry. We got from the cos alpha by t is nothing but crank radius by connecting rod length. Now my purpose is not to calculate this angle. The purpose is to calculate what is the stroke length, right? What is the stroke length? So what you are observing from the figure, what you can write R1 and R2. Can I write stroke length something like this? What is the meaning of stroke length? The length of the stroke which is covered from starting of the cutting stroke and to the end of the cutting stroke. Can I write R1, R2? If you see from the figure, this is what? The total duration during which it is engaged in cutting operation, right? Can I write also like this P1, P2? Because whatever the R1, R2 is there, that is what? P1 and P2. Now further I can write like this 2 into P1Q. Check it out from the figure. From the symmetry we can see P1Q is equal to what? Q into P2. Yes or no? So the total diagram will be
Yes,
what?
sir.
P1 and P2 will consist of 2 times of P1Q. Now, I'm just removing this diagram. What I'm writing, just observe. From the same figure which I have drawn, this is alpha by 2. Yes or no? So what about this? This is 90. Then what about this angle? 90 minus alpha by 2. Agree with this? Yes or no? This is B1, this is B, and this is A. This angle is what? 90 by 90 minus alpha by 2. So what I can write, sine 90 minus alpha by 2, sine 90 minus alpha by 2, what I can write? B1b, right? Or let me write like this. What is this? P1q, yes or no? Yes or no? So
Yes,
what I
sir.
can write, that is sine 90 minus alpha by 2 is nothing but P1q by AP1. Check it out. From the diagram, AP P1q, that is from the triangle, P1AQ. Now, what is this? This is cos alpha by 2, which is equal to P1Q. P1Q I need to get, right? And AP1 is what? Slotted arm length. Yes or no? So
Yes, sir.
what I can write P1Q, that is final stroke length formula, 2 times of P1Q. And P1Q from this particular equation, what I can write? Slotted arm length into cos alpha by 2. Further, stroke length can be written as 2 times of, I am writing slotted arm length into, what is cos alpha by 2? Just before this diagram, I just know from this diagram, that is A, B1 and B from this triangle, what is the cos alpha by 2? R by L, yes or no? R by L. So what is the stroke length? This is a very important formula which they are asking in many PSU examination directly. So they will give this diagram for the crank and slotted lever mechanism and they will ask directly. They will give this length, slotted arm length they will give, right? This slotted arm length they will give crank radius R and they will give this connecting rod length also L. Just multiply with the two, you will get what? Full stroke length. Are you getting my point? And if they will ask what is the half of the stroke length, just divided by what? 2. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the things which we have to discuss, right? And the similar cases will happen with the Whitworth quick return motion mechanism also, right? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, let me see. Okay, one more guy. No, 9:30 he has to join. Okay, so that is clear. So this is the Whitworth
Okay.
quick return.
Only
Yeah,
I am one of the participants, sir. No one is there.
actually the guy used to join, but he's having some network issue.
Okay. Are you giving free coaching for this?
Yeah, actually I'm tutor, this educator in the IIT and GATE classes.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah. See, the Whitworth cooperative motion mechanism, in this also we are doing what? A cutting action. And this is used in SAP machine.
So, if I want to join in GATE coaching class, what's the fees?
No, that you need to talk to Dinesh sir.
Uh-huh. Are
So you are there in
you,
the group.
classes are going in online, sir? Is the classes are
See,
going in online?
actually by seeing the situation, we can say yes. Currently, whatever the situation is going on.
Uh,
Now, what you can
is there
see
possibility for after working and studying, is there any possibility to pass, sir?
means,
I'm currently working. I'm coming out some night 7 o'clock, morning 9 o'clock. I'm coming.
actually here classes will
For
be late night only from 9, I don't know, something like from 8 or 9, something like that. 9 to 11:30 or, like these classes
oh,
usually happen because
if
the
that's
college is going
six,
to start.
it will be good. It will be good, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
after 9 o'clock,
Definitely,
it will be
definitely.
free.
It is definitely it is worth to join. You will get something at least.
Approximately how much cost, sir, including GST?
This I think 25,000. I'm not sure. You can ask to management, Dinesh
Mm,
sir, but I think 25,000 is there
mm.
for full 1 year course. So this is also Whitworth Cook rotation motion mechanism is also part of the this cutting operation which we perform. I think you forget something or you are just able to recall, which I am telling. Are you able to getting something like?
Sir, I have read this for a semester exam.
Mhm.
I have forgotten that's all. But I have thoroughly read this
Okay, no problem.
in kinematics of materials. Kinematics of materials.
Yeah, dynamics of machine, kinematics of machine. Yeah. So we are going to discuss some few points. That is apart from this syllabus. Just note down steering gear mechanism.
Uh,
We have some other mechanism other than this basic mechanism. Just note down steering gear mechanism.
is this a dynamics of machines?
No, no, no. We are running kinematics of machine now. We are in the kinematics of machine.
Okay,
We are going to discuss dynamics of machine soon. Actually, we are
okay,
running
sir.
this course for HL and HPCL examination.
Okay, I heard that, but we have to clear for GATE exam also, no, sir.
So,
The
you-
qualification
so
eligibility for
you are not the student of IIT in grade classes.
no, sir. I am not a IIT. Dinesh
So
sir
how
told
you?
that free classes are available
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, fine, fine.
for
These are the
HAL.
free classes only. Yeah, yeah, fine. So you can,
I'm,
thoroughly you can just quickly we can revise for you, and you can have any doubt you can ask. That is what the session is going on.
sir, I don't know the HAL requirement. For design requirement, I have to clear GATE also, no, sir.
No, 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 no. Nothing is required. You need to just appear in the examination. That's it.
Ah, when the exam is
Okay,
there, sir?
like till now the date has been not be confirmed. Before it was 25th and 26th, but it has been
May,
postponed. No, no, it was in
April.
the April month only, but it is got postponed. So date has been not be clear by seeing the current scenario. So let me finish
Uh,
this. Now see,
application closes or open is there.
you can join IIT GATE classes for the GATE. I think admission is going on for the GATE classes.
Okay, okay, sir. I
Yeah,
will call you, sir, by tomorrow.
yeah, yeah, fine, fine.
First, I will contact Dinesh, sir, because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
yeah.
also tired only for one participant you are teaching.
Mhm.
I will message you,
No
sir, by
problem.
tomorrow.
Actually, no problem. One is there or two is there. That doesn't matter, right? That will be uploaded in the YouTube. That is for the free classes. No, it will
Okay, I have
help
seen
for
in
all this.
YouTube. I have seen in YouTube, but it's for good
Mhm.
only. But is
Yeah,
in online, it will be good. If any doubts are there, you will clear it.
it is totally worth. I'm saying you because here many faculties, actually all the faculties are from IIT, right? So you will get something at least for practical knowledge or for clearing other examination other than GATE also. It will be no very much interesting.
Sir, in IIT, in NIT, Trichy, you are a professor or studying for ME?
I'm Tech. I did MTech from NIT Trichy.
Okay, you are a professor now.
No, 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 no. I'm just this teaching for GATE examination only, GATE and some other relevant examination for mechanical engineering and aerospace. Now see,
Okay,
so you have
okay,
seen the
sir.
mechanism which we use in machine tool and other application. But coming to the car mechanism, for changing the direction of motion of the car, we use steering, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
there we have two types of mechanism. First, note down Ackermann steering mechanism. Ackermann steering gear. Second, we are having Davis steering gear. What is the difference between Ackermann and this Davis steering gear? Just note on the few points. Ackermann steering gear means it is having only turning pair. It is having only turning pair, right? It is having only turning pair. Second point, it is exact at only three position. So Ackermann is steering gear, it is having only turning gear and it is exactly at only three positions, right? That is, what is the exactly three positions? These three positions are the two extreme position. Yeah, Jason, hi. Can you hear me? Yeah, hello. Can you hear me? Yeah, fine. So actually we finished some quick return motion mechanism and we have just calculated quick return ratio. You can, no problem. So right now also you don't have any current, or is that situation fine now? Okay, fine, fine. Yeah, fine, fine. So we have just revised. If you go through YouTube videos, that is tomorrow it might be uploaded. So just go through the starting 10 minutes. We discuss quick return ratio rule. What are the quick return ratio formula? That is no time for the cutting stroke and time for the return stroke. That we discuss, right? Now, so we are discussing apart from the other mechanism, we are discussing now steering gear mechanism. In the steering gear mechanism, we are first discussing Ackermann gear mechanism and Davis steering gear mechanism. What is the difference between, because directly they are asking in the examination, some of the examination, other than this basic mechanism we are having in the syllabus. Ackermann having only turning pair. There is no sliding pair. And it is exact at only three positions. What are the three positions? The two extreme position, the two extreme position plus mid position, right? You know this mechanism, this car is having cheeses, this the vehicle, wheel of this, right? And there is a mechanism by which we can rotate the car. How the car is rotating, that is what the mechanism we call what? Steering mechanism. Ackermann having only turning pair, exact only at three position. What about Davis? Having turning pair and sliding pair. It is exact at all the position. Note down second point. It is exact at all the position. Exact at all the position. If they will ask who is having more life, then life is very high in the Ackermann. Note down. Life is, no, not Davis pair. See, this is the mechanism, not types. Steering can be have, see, whatever the vehicle you have is steering right here. With the help of hand, you can rotate the car whenever you want to change the direction. That is having two types of mechanism, Ackermann or Davis. Whatever the back side, whatever is there, top side, whatever the mechanism is there, that is what we are discussing now, right? So Ackermann steering gear mechanism, in this only turning pair is there and it is exact at three position and life is very high. Because it is having only turning pair, you know that who is having more life, turning pair or sliding pair? Sliding pair, what happens due to rubbing and all, friction will be generate what? Heat. If friction will generate heat, the chances of wear and tear will be more. The life will be what? Less. So note down here, life is very less. So these are the 3 points which are important. What are the 3 points? 1, 2, and 3. What are the here 3 points? 1, 2, and 3. These are the 3 points which are important for this Ackermann and Davis steering gear mechanism. So are you noting down or is it over? Okay. Now other mechanism, just note down. Intermittent motion mechanism. Intermittent motion mechanism. What is the meaning of intermittent motion mechanism and continuous mechanism? See, intermittent means there is a break in between the some period. The periodic motion with the breaks at the output with respect to given input. We call it what? Intermittent motion mechanism. Continuous motion mechanism means crank and slaughter lever mechanism, or you can see piston slider mechanism, or this crank and piston mechanism. How is that? Piston is continuously rotating sorry, this crank is continuously rotating and piston is sliding. Yes or no? And this will happen continuously after the cycle. Yes or no? But intermittent means continuous motion will not be there. There is a break after some interval of time. And what are the examples of this mechanism? Note down. Geneva mechanism. Geneva mechanism. Where we use this mechanism? Used in milling machine. Used in indexing of milling machine. You know what is the indexing of milling machine? What is the indexing? What is the indexing? Indexing. We need to rotate. See, if you want to cut the number of tooth on the blank with the help of milling cutter, if you want to make this is a gear blank. Let's say this is the gear blank, and I want to cut the tooth at the particular interval. Yes or no? If I want to cut, if you want to make a slot here, right? Then I need to cut the gear or rotate the particular gear what with the equal amount of what rotation. Yes or no? The angle between each subsequent will be what same. For turning equally and to make the cut or to make the what slot on the gear blank, this process we call indexing of a milling machine. I think this is there in the machine tool. This is a part of the machine tool, right? Indexing. And now here what is happening? The mechanism by which we are rotating this workpiece, that is nothing but what? Geneva mechanism. No doubt, ratchet and fall mechanism. I think this is you know. I hope that you know this ratchet fall mechanism. Ratchet mechanism used in clocks. No doubt, used in clocks. These are the things you need to note down because that is not there, but they are asking. This is very important topic because in ISRO they ask many times. Is it over? Okay. Coming to the next topic, velocity analysis. Note down. In the velocity analysis, how we can do the velocity analysis? That is the important aspect of discussion, right? How we can do the velocity analysis. What is the comfort way by which you are doing velocity analysis? Just tell me. How you do the, this velocity analysis? Can you just tell me? See, velocity means, let's say this is the, yeah, let's say this is the crank and this is the point P and this is the point O. This is rotating about fixed axis, that's nothing but what? O, yes or no? After the rotation, what is happening? We know that there are two things are happening. Whenever it is rotating with some omega, velocity at point P will be what? Something like this. What we can write? OA, that is OP into omega, that is nothing but tangential direction. Yes or no? So what we got to know from the velocity, first, very important point, a relative velocity. This is the relative velocity P with respect to what? O. The relative velocity has only one component. Now that component, whatever the one component is there, that component, this component will always be tangential. Will always be what? Perpendicular to the link. Will always be perpendicular to the link. See, you can see this is a perpendicular to the link. Are you getting my point? Any link if you take, that will be what having one component, and that is nothing but v is equal to r omega, and that will be perpendicular to that link. Because velocity at point O will be what? Zero. It is fixed one. So whatever the velocity with respect to P will be what? Velocity of O plus velocity P with respect to O. That is what a relative velocity method. And this is zero. So directly is what? What we can write? Whatever the velocity of point P will be what? Velocity of point P will be what? Velocity equal point P will be velocity of point P with respect to O. Yes or no? So just note down. Very, very important. Now, what do you understand by instantaneous center of rotation? Velocity to be determined, we can determine by two methods. That is, first is relative velocity method or relative velocity diagram. Second is instantaneous center method. And third is vector method. Are you getting my point? Now, what do you mean by instantaneous center of rotation? See, for discussion of that, let me take you to the point. If you want to determine what is the instantaneous rotation, instantaneous center method, IC method, for that, let me take example, same example let me take. First, let me discuss general plane motion. What do you mean by general plane motion? In mechanism, in the engineering mechanism, you got to know what is a general plane motion. We call it as what? Let's say general plane motion means translation plus rotation. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now, can I show you some example? Let's see. This is the rod AB. After the rotation and some having translation, what is happening? This is the position of the rod. A dash, B dash. The point A is translated, the point B is also translated. Now see, try to observe what I am drawing. And further it is the rod is something in this position. B1. So this is the initial position, this is the second position, this is the final position. This diagram I can make like this. This is the rod AB. This has been translated. This has been translated plus rotated. Check it out. This general plane motion, whatever the general plane motion is there, general plane motion, I can write in two forms. First is what? Translation. This is translating. And this is nothing but rotation about A. Now we'll ask, where is the instantaneous center of this body? What you will say? When the body is under the pure rotation, I have given example. When the body is under the pure rotation, what about the instantaneous center of this link number 1 and the link number 2? This is the I center. The joint itself become what? I center, yes or no? About which? See, Richard, what is the instantaneous center? The center about which the whole body is under pure rotation. Are you getting my point? Note down. IC is nothing but the point about which it is also a general kind of motion. Every general kind, motion is a kind of rotation, right? The point about which the whole body is under rotation. Simply, right? Are you getting my point? Now, let me take another example where we are discussing, we're trying to find what is the common instantaneous center of rotation. Now try to observe. Let's say this is the body and 2 points I'm considering, point number A and point number B. And we know the velocity vector. Let's see that this is the velocity of point A and right, and this is the point velocity of point B. Now we'll ask her, this is the body, this is the planar body, let's say, moving in a particular plane and having a two fixed point A and B, which is joined by the line, and they are having two velocity VA and VB. Find instantaneous center. That is the question. So for instantaneous center, how to find instantaneous center? See, very simple. Draw perpendicular. See, this is the point. This is having some velocity. For finding the instantaneous, whatever the perpendicular velocity there, just draw the perpendicular line of that particular point, which is perpendicular to the what? Velocity vector. And whatever the lining of the joint, that is common point, will be called as what? Instantaneous of rotation. Now, let me show you. This is the velocity. Where is the perpendicular line? Somewhere here. Yes or no? Sorry. It will be somewhere here. This is the perpendicular, let's say. For point B, where is the perpendicular line? Will it be here or not? Here or not? Now, if these 2 points are perpendicular, we have drawn, whatever the common intersection point is there, this is nothing but eye center. Now we'll ask her, okay, you have just dictated the diagram. Can you tell me what is the significance of that discussion of locating the particular eye center? Now you can see about point number A, point number B, they are doing what general kind of motion, because this plate is something like this. They will something like this, they will something like this. They are translating as well as they are rotating also. Can you see? Translating as well as rotating this line AB. Yes or no? They are doing general kind of motion. But there is a one point about which we can surely say that this body is in the pure rotation. And this point is what this. And which direction? This is the direction. Let's say this is the point O, about which the whole body is rotating. Can you able to sense this? Just see in the clockwise direction. Right? So this is what the instantaneous center of rotation. Is it clear? Now we have to find some common instantaneous center. In a mechanism, let's say number of links are there. And how many number of links are there? It can be anything. According to number of links, how many instantaneous center can be there? So what if A, B in opposite direction? It doesn't matter. Let's see. You're saying this is the direction of, let's say this is the velocity A. This is the velocity B. Let's say both are perpendicular. It will be having some instantaneous center of rotation, right? That can be find, by what? Now we cannot find by the joining perpendicular line. Can you able to find? No. Can you able to find instantaneous center of rotation? Tell me. Because both are perpendicular, it will be somewhere along this line. That is for sure. It will be somewhere along this line, eye center. No, we can't say. We can't say. We have to join the head of the VA and head of the what? VB. Head of the VB. And whatever the intersection on this line will be what? Eye center. By joining heads of the, when the two, see, we have different method of finding the eye center. Any body, let's say, two velocity, let's say any body is there. This is the plane. It is having some velocity VA here and VB here. I will ask you where is the instantaneous center of rotation. Can you able to find? Both are perpendicular to this line. You can't say here, here, here. What you will do? You will just join the line like something like this. And whatever the intersection, that will be what? Eye center. Just join head to head of the corresponding velocity of the what? Point A and point B. You will get what? This. This is the first method. This is the second method. And this is asked in GATE examination, GATE 2021. Are you getting my point? In a mechanism, let's say different links are there. Different links are there. Then how many number of instantaneous center of rotation can be find out? This is the formula. Let me give you example. Let's say 4-bar mechanism. let's say 4-bar mechanism. This is a fixed link. 1, 2. This is a link 2. This is a link 2. This is a link 3. This is link 4. Now, if I'll ask you, just rotate the, just denote the instantaneous center of rotation. What you will do, sir? It's very simple. These are the revolute pair, and just note down how to denote different eye center. Different eye center location. Different some common eye center we can denote. Now see, when two links are making revolute pair, or R pair, where is the instantaneous center? The R pair will itself become eye center. This will become what? Eye center. I1, 2. Are you getting my point? Whether two links are rotating, right, about some common joint, that is pin joint or the revolute joint, in that case, whatever the eye center will be there, that is what? A revolute joint itself become. Are you getting my point? Whatever the revolute pair joint is there, that will be what? Instantaneous center of rotation. When the body is under pure rolling, whenever the body is under pure rolling, whatever the common point of, the common point which is touching the ground, or about which it is doing the pure rolling, that is what we call it as eye center. Are you getting my point? See, let's say wheel is there. Forget about this example, I will discuss. This wheel is what? Rotating. Let's say rolling. If I say rolling, it is doing general kind of motion or not? Means it is having translation plus rotation. Yes or no? Translation as well as it is having rotation. This is translation, this is the rotation. Now you will ask, sir, where is the instantaneous center of rotation? Instantaneous center of rotation is that point about which the sliding velocity is 0 and about which the body is under pure rotation. Now just imagine this is the eye center. I can say that this body is pure rotating about this particular point with some omega. Just imagine hypothetically the surface is not there. Try to imagine the situation. I'm just revolving this particular ball or the particular sphere about that eye center point. Can you imagine? It is under pure rotation. It is not having any this component, that is sliding component. Are you getting my point? See, when the pure rolling is possible, at the point of contact, see, at the point of contact, let's say it is directing omega in this direction. This is r omega, and this is the velocity of center of mass. For pure rolling, remember that for pure rolling, V should be what? Equal to r omega. If V is equal to r omega, then only pure rolling is possible. That means point about which velocity of the relative velocity of point P is point O is what? 0. That means it is what? Under pure rotation about point number O. Is it clear? Right. When the when any body is there which is sliding, what about instantaneous center of rotation will be at the infinity? The instantaneous center will be what? At the infinity, not on. When the body is sliding or translating, the instantaneous center of rotation will be somewhere at the infinity. We don't know. We don't know. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Now further we have the concave surface and convex surface. Whatever the, let's say, any surface is, this is a surface we are having. We are calling this is as concave surface. In this concave surface, where is the instantaneous center of rotation? Where is the instantaneous center of rotation? Tell me guys, if link is moving on a curved surface, the center of curvature will be what? Eye center. The center of curvature will be eye center. Tell me yes or no? Yes. Whether it is a convex surface or concave surface. So this is some common allocation of the eye centers that you need to remember. Is it clear? Now, just I need to tell you mechanism. Let's say the 4-bar mechanism. What actually the 4 bar mechanism is doing. Let's say this is a fixed thing. Of course, one link we have to fix. So that only we can call any mechanism to what? Kinematic mechanism. Yes or no? What is the difference between any common truss or what is the mechanism? In that mechanism, one link will be what? Always be fixed. This is a link number 1, link number 2, link number 3, link number 4. Right? Now just try to locate where is the eye center. This is a revolute pair, revolute pair, revolute pair, revolute pair. And I told you, where if it is a revolute pair, the revolute pair joint will become itself what? Eye center. So this is the eye center for I12. This is the eye center for I23. This is the eye center for I34. This is the eye center for I14. How many number of links are there? 4. How many instantaneous center of rotation can be found out? 4 minus 4 minus 1 by 2. N is equal to what? 2 into 3, 6. How many eye centers are there? 6. But how many we are able to find out just now? Only 4. What about the other 2? How to find other 2? We have just located 4 eye center. What about the other 2? Can you tell me what about the other 2? No. See, let me tell you. Let's say this is the mechanism we are having. This is I12. This is I23. I34. This is I14. This is the link number 1. This is link number 2. This is link number 3. This is link number 4. See, what are the instantaneous center of rotation we can find out? Let me tell you. We will be having 6 different instantaneous center of rotation. What is that? I12, I13, I14, right? I15, I23, I34. Sorry, I15 is not there. What is the else? I24, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? Because I12, I21 both are same. I13, 31 both are same. Are you getting my point? Are you getting what I'm saying? Correct. Now just tell me, we have just located this I12, I13 we have not located, I23 we have located, I34 and I14. We have to allocate I13 and I24. How to allocate? Now see the shortcut. Forget about the past method which you are having. I12 now. Let's see. I24, we can write I12, I24, I23, I24. Sorry, what you can write? Sorry. How we can do? I12, I24, I24, I23, and 34. I14. So there is a diagram method is also there. I am telling you without diagram. Okay, let me show you in this diagram only. When I join I23 and 34, what I will find? What I will find? I12, I14. Now try to observe. When I join I23 and 34 by something like this, and when I extend this line, the intersection will be what? I24. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? What I'm saying? See, if you want to find I24, try to insert third one. How? 2, 3, 3, 4. 3 will cancel out. What you will get? What you will get? 2 and 4. Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, you have inserted 3. What else is left? What else is left? Next is what? 1. I12, 1, 4. 1, 1 is cancel out. What about the other one? 2, 4. So what is the meaning of this shortcut is that you need to join I24 is the intersection of line joining I12, I14 and I23, I34. Okay. I24 is intersection of line joining of I12, I12, I14 and I23, I34. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. In a very similar way, if I'll ask you how we can allocate I13. In a very similar way, if I'll ask you how we can allocate I13, do in a very simpler way. Insert 1 point. I12, what you can write? I12, I23. What is the other? I14, I34. Yes or no? So that 2 will cancel out. And here what 144 will cancel out. So I13 we are going to get. That means I13 is the intersection of I12, 23. Where is the I12, 23? This is the I12, 23. Yes or no? Let me draw over the I12, 23. What about the intersection of I14, 34? This is the line joining of I14, 34. And they will join and this point is what? I13. Tell me, is it clear? Right. So instantaneous center we have two types. One is a relative instantaneous center, other is absolute. Absolute eye center, relative eye center. What is the absolute and relative means? I13 is absolute, I12 absolute, I23 is what? Absolute. Now try to observe. Try to observe what I'm saying. See, absolute eye center means which is with respect to fixed one. What I'm saying, absolute eye center means with respect to fixed. So can you tell me what about this eye center? I12, I13, I14, like this. See, what is the meaning of I13? I13 is a point about which link number 3 is under complete rotation. Is it clear? I12 is nothing but what? The point about which the link number 2 is under what? Pure rotation. I14 is the point about which the link number 4 is under pure rotation. What about I24? I24 means the point about which link number 2 and 4 both are under pure rotation. Is it clear? I24 is a point about which the link number 2 and the link number 4 both are under pure rotation. That's why we are calling what? Relative eye center. That means one eye center, one link eye center with respect to other moving link eye center. I23, I34, I24. These are the what? Example of the relative eye center. Is it clear? Okay, so these are the things we have discussed. Note on acceleration in the mechanism. So acceleration will be having two components. You know that any part, let's say same diagram, same example, this is the crank, point P, point O, and it is rotating, let's say. Velocity is having only one component of velocity. There is a no doubt, which is tangential and in the direction of, motion. But what about acceleration? Let's say this is alpha, angular acceleration. So this is nothing but tangential acceleration, and this is nothing but what? Normal acceleration. Yes or no? Normal acceleration is nothing but what? Centripetal or radial component which is perpendicular to the velocity of particle at this given instant. Are you getting my point? And towards the center, the direction will be what? Towards the center of rotation. This is center of rotation. What about tangential acceleration, which is parallel to the velocity of particle at the given instant? Right? If the diagram is something like this, alpha is in this direction. What about tangential acceleration in this direction? Is it clear? And what about magnitude? R into alpha. We also call it as dB by dt. What about normal component of acceleration? R into omega square. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? You know this thing, right? Very good. Note down fast. But you know, in the vector format, how we used to write R omega, omega cross R. How we write tangential component, alpha cross R. How we write normal component, omega cross R. Note down, very, very important. These are in the vector notation actually. Vector notation. Is it clear? Okay. So we will discuss the example of this velocity and acceleration. Note down kinematics of what? Note down next topic. Note down kinematic analysis of single sided crank mechanism. Whether you know this topic, kinematic analysis of single slider crank mechanism. Single slider crank mechanism. So it's a very simple, nothing is there. We do not worry about forces till now. We need to find what is the velocity, what is the acceleration. So note down this is the velocity. Which velocity? Tell me which velocity? It is of which velocity, guys? Tell me. Velocity of slider. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? What about the velocity of slider? This is the formula. Note down. Very important. Very, very important. Velocity of slider. Right? Piston velocity. What about piston acceleration? What about piston acceleration? See, this is the inner dead center. This is the outer dead center. We have taken everything from inner dead center. Whatever the rotation is there, that is from inner dead center. This is phi angle. This is R. This is L. This is L. This is R. Obliquity ratio we defined by N. N is equal to L by R. Obliquity ratio. Note down. Obliquity ratio. Very, very important. Inner dead center we also call it as top dead center. Outer dead center we also call it as bottom dead center. Is it clear? Note down acceleration. Acceleration of the piston velocity. Acceleration of the piston is nothing but this is the formula. These are all approximate formula. Approx formula. Note down angular velocity and angular acceleration of connecting rod. Because this is the connecting rod, this is making an angle phi. If I differentiate d phi by dt, what I'm going to get? I'm going to get omega of connecting rod. Yes or no? Likewise, we are getting omega of crank. How we are getting omega of crank? D theta by dt. Because crank is making what? Angle theta. Similar way, if I differentiate with respect to time, I'm going to get omega of what? Connecting rod. So note down this is a formula we are having. Very important formula. So if you just neglect sin square theta, if sin square theta is neglected, so what is the omega of connecting rod? Omega cos theta by n. Note down. Omega cos theta by n. Are you getting my point? Theta is very small as compared to means n square term is very large than sin square theta. So if you just take the difference of that, it will be what? Neglected, right? Are you getting my point? Correct. Is it over? Basically, note on this point. For the other than gate examination, this formula is useful. Note on what are the forces on the connecting, the reciprocating parts on the engine, and of course, we need to neglect the weight of the connecting rod. So just note on this diagram, very important diagram. for you. Just note down very important diagram. Piston effort. The piston effort is nothing but what are the net force which are acting on the piston. Now we are starting what? Dynamic force analysis. Now we are starting our discussion of what? Dynamic force analysis. In the dynamic force analysis, what I'm going to discuss, I'm going to calculate what are the forces which are acting. This is your cylinder. This is your piston. Yes or no? Here also pressure is there, and here also pressure is there. So what is the net force? I can calculate P1A1 minus P2A2 minus m into acceleration. This is nothing but inertia force. Yes or no? Tell me yes or no. Tell me yes or no. Plus minus kinetic friction. No doubt. Kinetic friction. You know that static friction won't be there when the body is under motion, right? Right? Plus minus. When it is there 0 to 180 degree, we need to take plus f. Sorry, we need to take minus f. No doubt. From 0 to 180, we need to take minus f. That is negative kinetic friction. Negative kinetic friction. And from 180 to 360, we need to take what? When crank is moving from 0 to 180, we need to take minus f. When crank is making angle from 180 to 360, we have to take what? Plus f. Are you getting my point? If you take summation of all the forces, that is what the net force which are acting on the piston. Net force which are acting on the piston. That is there on the next slide. This is the part. Of course, here it is written inertia force plus minus, but it will be what? Always minus. Minus. And this is plus minus friction resistance. That is kinetic friction. So just note down this formula, whatever I'm writing. P1A1 minus P2A2 minus inertia force minus plus minus kinetic friction. No doubt. Where A1 is nothing but pi by 4 d square and A2 is nothing but what? Pi by 4 d square minus d square. Yes or no? Quite simple, right? If you look at the diagram, from cover end, this is the cover end. From cover end, whatever the pressure is acting, on which area it is acting on the bore diameter, cylinder diameter. Yes or no? Cylinder diameter. But at this side, due to connecting rod diameter, it will be acting what? Just left this d, it is acting at pi by 4 d square minus t square. Yes or no? Are you getting my point? From the crank end, if you look at the part, it will be what? Hollow circle. But from here, it is what? A complete circle where which it is acting. So it's quite simple. So P1 is nothing but pressure from the cover end. P2 is nothing but pressure at the what? Crank end. Now, just note down what is the force acting on the connecting rod. To explain this, I need to show you one particular diagram. Let me show it. This is a cylinder, this is a piston, and this is the connecting rod, this is the crank. Yes or no? This is phi, this is theta. This is the net force which are acting on the piston. Yes or no? Are you agree with this? What is the formula? P1A1 minus P2A2, something is there, right? Okay, we got to know, sir, this is the formula we are having. What are the force which are acting on this connecting rod? Can I write FCR cos phi is equal to FP? Can I write like this? For FCR, what I can write? FP divided by cos phi. Yes or no? That is what we have written over here. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now, sir, what about this horizontal component you have resolved? What about the vertical component of the force? So FP sin phi, we call it as thrust on the side of the cylinder ball or normal reaction on the guide bars. This is the formula, no doubt. Simply remember this diagram. Further, I am making this diagram. for calculating turning moment, and this is the connecting rod force. This is connecting rod force, all right, and this we are making an angle. Let's say this is force which are acting on the crank, force acting on the crank, note down, force which are acting radially, right? Let me call it as radial, FR, FR. This is theta plus phi. This is what? X. Both are what? FT and FR perpendicular. Are you getting what? Are you getting my point? This is the crank. One component is FT, other component is what? FR. Radial force, tangential force. Are you getting my point? That force can be calculated here. Crank pin effort and thrust on the cranks are pairing. I just drawn the diagram. Can you able to recall that diagram? This is connecting rod. This is turning moment, that is FT, and this is what? A radial force. This is what? This is theta plus phi. Theta plus phi. What about this? 90 minus theta plus phi. Right? So just I'm taking FCR sine 90 minus theta plus phi is equal to what? FT. Yes or no? Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Very good. Further, what I can write? Sorry, FCR cos 90, right? It will be cos the horizontal component. Can you able to see diagram? Let me draw it. This is FT. This is the component. Let's say this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis, and this is connecting rod. This is making an angle 90 minus theta plus phi. So if I want to just resolve the component, FCR horizontal component will be what? FT. What about the horizontal component? FCR cos 90 minus theta plus phi. So what is the FT? FCR sine theta plus phi. And what is the FCR? FP by cos phi. Yes or no? Then psi theta plus phi. So what you are asking? See, now what is the turning moment? Which force will turn the crank? Ft into R, radius of the crank. Yes or no? If I'll ask you, what is the turning moment of the crank? The turning moment of the crank is nothing but force which are perpendicular to the link into the perpendicular radius or perpendicular distance from the center of rotation. Center of rotation. That is nothing but what? Radius of the crank. Radius of the crank. This is the formula we are having. So what you are observing, guys, the turning moment is a function of what? Theta and phi. Yes or no? The turning moment is a function of what? Tell me. The turning moment is a function of what? Theta. Theta, right? Theta. Based on the direction or based on the magnitude which are changing, theta value changing, the turning moment will be changing. That's why large fluctuation is happening. That's why the large fluctuation is happening in the what? IC engine, right? So that's why to control this fluctuation of the, whatever the turning moment, or due to that, the fluctuation of the speed is coming in the engine. To have the control over this fluctuation, what we are using? We are using what? Flywheel. Are you getting my point? The turning moment which you are looking right now, it is highly fluctuating with the what? With respect to crank angle, right? So in actual practice, the crank angle is moving what? Randomly. So due to what? Turning moment is acting what? Is also acting what? Very fluctuating in nature. So whatever the speed will be there, that is also fluctuating within the cycle. So what will happen? We are not able to properly design the system in that case, because so many fluctuations, so many vibrations will be coming, so many noise will be coming. The comfort cannot be provided. To stop that, we need to what? Have some proper mechanism, proper reservoir. That reservoir we call flywheel, right? And one more force, if you resolve this direction, that is radial direction, you are going to get what? This is the force, that is thrust on the crankshaft bearing. Can you see? There is a bearing. Here it is a bearing. and here the load is acting. Yes or no? Fr. Are you getting my point? This we are calling thrust on the crankshaft bearing. Is it clear? And what is that formula? Very simple. Fq into cos theta plus phi. Whatever the FCR is there, that is nothing but Fq only in this diagram. Don't be confused. Here it is Fq. Right? So just this is the crank effort. Note down turning moment diagram of flywheel. Note down flywheel. Flywheel is used in a machine as a reservoir which stores the energy during the period when a supply of energy is more than the requirement, and it releases the energy during the period when the requirement of energy is more than the supply. Is it clear? Now you know that governor is also a device which maintains the constant speed. Does it conflict with the flywheel and governor? No, both are different. Both are different. Flywheel is a device which does not maintain the constant speed. Which does not maintain the constant speed. It simply reduces the fluctuation of the speed. In other words, we can say the flywheel controls the speed variation caused by the fluctuation of the engine turning moment during the each cycle of operation. Now we'll ask who will maintain the constant speed? The constant speed can be maintained by governor. The function of governor is nothing but it is entirely different from the flywheel. It regulates the mean speed of the engine. That means, let's say when the load is very high, when say that bus is there, in the bus, the sitting capacity is 20. Now what happened? 30 or 40 members are sitting inside the car, that particular buses. What will happen? Load increase. What about the car speed? Will be more or high, more or low? When more persons are sitting, more load is there, speed will be what? Low. If you want to maintain the constant speed, that means if you want to reach the particular destination within 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever we set up in that destination period, what I need to do? I need to supply more amount of fuel. And who will supply more fuel? Governor. Automatically there is a mechanism. Now let's say the bus is there. Inside the bus, only 2 or 3 persons are sitting and they are traveling. What about the speed of the bus? Very, very high. Yes or no? Very, very high. In that case, we don't require to reach the destination within 20 minutes or 30 minutes. The target is set, that is 1 hour. If target is set, we need to reduce the speed. And how we can reduce the speed? We are going to cut off the what? Fuel supply. If fuel supply will not be proper, fuel supply will not be there that much, as that will be, before of that cut-off period, what will happen? Engine speed automatically comes down. Because burning of the fuel will not be there. The expansion stroke will not be very, very high. If expansion stroke will not be that much power enough to generate the power, brake power, what will happen? The engine speed will be what? Automatically reduces. Are you getting my point? So there is a difference between what? Governor and flywheel. Both are having different functionality. Right? So where we use flywheel? IC engine and punching press. So application of flywheel. IC engine, punching press. In the flywheel chapter, we have one more important concept, CS, coefficient of fluctuation of speed. What is the formula? N1 minus N2 by N. What is N? N we call mean speed. N1 plus mean speed is nothing but what? N1 plus N2 by 2. Is it clear? Okay. Now the next term. What is the energy stored in the flywheel? How much of energy is stored in the flywheel? See, you know that let me, for discussion of this, let me show this turning moment diagram. What is happening, guys, in the turning moment diagram? See, this is a suction stroke. The part of the suction stroke, most of the what? Negative. How we draw this diagram? This is torque versus theta. Whatever the area under this curve, whatever the area under the curve will be given by what? Work done, right? Torque into theta. Are you agree? Whatever the area under the turning moment and crank angle is nothing but what? Work done. During suction stroke, what is happening? We are doing work onto the system. What is the system? Gases. We are doing work on the gases. That's why what? It is negative work. Most of the work is what? Negative here. Somewhat is positive, right? Compression, all that is completely negative, right? Because during compression stroke, we are compressing. We are compressing the gases. Are you getting my point? That's why it is a negative loop. But during expansion stroke, can you see? Expansion stroke. Why it is positive? Why it is positive? Because the work is done by the gases. And the work done by the gases is what? I don't, you know, in the thermodynamics, what is the work done by the system? Positive or negative? What is the work done by the system? Positive. Work done onto the system? Negative. Are you getting my point? See, there is no work done involved in the combustion process. I'm not talking about combustion. I'm talking about the expansion stroke, compression stroke. That is complete length of the stroke I'm talking. I'm not talking that spark plug is there and the fuel burning is there. During this process, there is no work is involved. Work done is zero. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? So just make this diagram. Is it over? Is it over, guys? Have you seen? Now you come to know the how we draw this particular turning moment diagram for four-stroke cycle engine. Now four-stroke means what? The cycle period is what? 2 pi, 720 degree, right? Yes or no? Yes. If it is a two-stroke, 360 degree. Very good. Now you got to know what is happening, guys. Yeah, very good. So during suction and compression and exhaustion stroke, what is required? The work has to be done. Now tell me, during power stroke, excess power is supplied. When excess power is required, excess power is supplied, the remaining, see, we require only this much of power. What about this excess power? Will be stored where? Will be stored where? Tell me. Will be stored in flywheel. If this power is stored in the flywheel, what will happen? If this much of power is stored in the flywheel, what about the angular velocity of the flywheel? Will increase or decrease? See, flywheel is getting energy, automatically it will increase. But in the remaining stroke, we need to move the crank or whatever the cams out. It is not possible by the hand. Who will going to rotate? The flywheel. During the remaining stroke, the flywheel gives its energy. What will happen? Omega. What about the omega or angular velocity of the flywheel? Will reduce. So there is a difference in the maximum or minimum, right? And that we call fluctuation. Note down. Whatever the fluctuation of the energy, that is maximum fluctuation is what? Maximum kinetic energy minus minimum kinetic energy. We denote it by what? Delta E. I think you know this formula, right? Very well. I into omega square into Cs. And how we got formula? This is the formula. When the flywheel is of ring type, when the flywheel is of ring type, what about moment of inertia? M R square. When the flywheel is of this type, what a moment of inertia? Mr square by 2. Note down. Is it over, guys? Is it over? Very good. So this is for the complete picture of the flywheel. I hope that you enjoy the particular the concept of flywheel. How actually the turning moment diagram is developed, right? How the actually the flywheel is gaining energy during which cycle or which stroke and during which it is supplying the energy, right? Now once it is clear, but note down one more thing in the flywheel. Just last thing, coefficient of fluctuation of energy. Coefficient of fluctuation of energy. This is nothing but delta E by total work done. Delta E by total work done in a cycle. And how to get the work done in cycle? From the turning moment and crank angle diagram. T theta diagram. We call it as T theta diagram. Are you getting my point? Is it clear? Very good. Just note down last point, CAM. So quickly we are going to discuss CAM. CAM and follower mechanism. For that, just note down classification of follower. Classification of follower. So we have the different classification of the follower. The first we are having knife edge follower. Second roller follower. Note down classification of follower. In that we have knife edge follower, a roller follower, knife edge follower, roller follower. We have different terminologies also. See, this is a knife edge. Knife edge follower. How the roller follower? This is a roller follower. Now, which follower we use and where we use? That is an important question. Do we use a knife edge follower? So, do we use any knife edge follower anywhere else? Tell me. See, what is actually happening? See, knife edge follower, note down. See, just note down. It is used in a very simple follower cam follow mechanism. So it is a very simplest follower. Note down. It is a very simplest follower. It is a very simplest follower. Note down second thing. See, it is a point contact. That means whatever the contact stresses are very high or low. Whatever the contact stresses are there, that is high or low, very high. This is also reason, one of the main reason we are not using anywhere. Note down, it results in more wear and tear. Due to contact stresses are high, due to this results in high wear and tear. High wear and tear. Right? Knife edge follower, we also call it as roller follower having zero radius. Having zero radius. Just note down a roller follower. The roller followers are extensively used where the more space is available, such as stationary gas, oil engine, aircraft engine. So in aircraft, we use roller follower. See, there is a smooth contact from the cam. Whatever the cam surface is there, from the cam surface, we have what? Smooth contact. That's why we are using it. There's a no sharp corners are there. There's a gradually applied load will be acting. Are you getting my point? So that we can no, use it effectively. Is it clear? Are you getting my point? Now, just note down. So here, what is there? When I contacted with this cam, in between this, what is which stress is acting? Which friction is acting actually? Note down sliding friction. Yes or no? Here, sliding friction is acting. When I contacted here, which friction is acting here? Rolling friction. I know the sliding friction is higher than the rolling friction. Yes or no? Yes or no? Right. So these are the difference between knife and roller follower. Note down flat face follower or mushroom follower. We basically have something like this. Flat face follower or mushroom follower. See, sorry. The diagram will be something like this. There is a flat. The flat faces are used generally where the space is limited, such as cams will operate with the balls of an automobile engine. See, you know that inlet valve and exit valve is there. Are you agree with this? Yes or no? Whatever the inlet valve and exit valves are there, in those valves, if somebody will ask you which follower, cam and follower mechanism there, that is in what? Flat face or mushroom follower. Spherical face follower is something like this. Spherical face follower is something like this. Are you getting the point? Are you getting the point? Now, if there is a flat face follower is there, why we use require spherical? See, there is a high contact stresses are there due to flat. What I'm going to make, I'm going to make a smooth surface like this by converting it to what? Something like this. Like this. Is it clear? Are you getting my point? This is nothing but what? Spherical face follower. So that whatever the contact stresses are there, it will reduce. So somebody will ask you why we develop this spherical face follower to reduce the contact stresses. To reduce the stresses. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. Just note down. Next thing. So you can see in the diagram, knife edge follower, ruler follower, flat face follower, cam with a spherical face follower. Spherical face follower. See, this is also one of the spherical face follower. You can see, right? Yes or no? Is it clear? Right. Note down. We can also classify it based on what? Another classification we can do on the basis of what? Another classification we can do on the basis of what? The motion of the follower. Radial follower means when the motion of the follower is along the axis which is passing through center of the cam. That means what? See, let me draw the roller follower. And this is the center of axis which is passing through this. This is the follower axis which is passing through center of rotation, and here only it will be acting. This is nothing but what? A roller follower. Is it clear? If somebody will ask you what is the offset follower, what will take? See. This is the cam profile. This is the center of rotation axis, and the this vertical axis which is passing through center of follower will be what? Somewhere else. So this is the follower axis and this is center of rotation. Both are having some offset. This is called as offset follower. Are you getting my point? Right. Now note down terms which is used in radial cam. Terms we used in the radial cams. Note down terms we are using in the radial cams. So we don't bother about so much thing here. Here the terminology, we have so many circle, so many curves, but I will tell you what are the things we have to remember for cam profile. What are the things which we have to remember for cam profile? First thing, base circle. Can you see in the figure base circle? This is the base circle. Can you see the base circle? Yes. No doubt. This base circle, it is the smallest circle here. It is the smallest circle that can be drawn tangential to the cam profile. Now look at the figure. Where is the cam profile? This is the cam profile. This is my cam profile. Can you able to see this green color which I'm drawing? This is my cam profile. And if I'm going to draw the tangent, this circle which you are looking right now, base circle, is nothing but what? This is a circle. This circle is nothing but what? This circle is what? Base circle. And this circle is what? Note down. It determines size of cam. Somebody will ask you how we can find the size of the cam? Base circle. We have so many circles, pitch circle, base circle, prime circle. But what are the most important circle is what? Base circle. This is the one point. Second important point, note down. Second important point, note down. Pitch point. Second important point is pitch point. If somebody will ask you what is the pitch point, what you will take? Just note down this pitch point. It is a point on the pitch curve which is having maximum pressure angle. See, we have so many points, but all the points are not having maximum pressure angle. The locus of the point, the locus joining of the points where on the pitch curve, where pressure angle is maximum, we call it pitch point. Now come to the point. You can see in the figure, let me clear all the figure. Where the pitch profile, this is the pitch point. Can you see the locus of this? The locus of all the points where the maximum pressure angle is there, that is what? Pitch point. But onto the what? On what? The locus of all the points on which one? No, not cam profile. Try to observe. It is a point on the pitch curve. We have to see the point on the pitch curve. Where is the pitch curve? This is the pitch curve. This is the cam profile. This is the pitch profile. And onto that, where the maximum pressure angle is there, we call it a what? Pitch point. Third important thing is that, first of all, sir, what is the pressure angle actually? That is the important point, right? What is the pressure angle? Now, let me define very clearly so that no confusion after this. Let's say this is a center of rotation. This is the cam profile, let's say. And let me take this follower, let's say the roll of knife edge follower. Let me take knife edge follower. Now, let me just draw the points. This is a fixed. Note down, it is the angle between pressure angle, it is the angle between the direction of velocity vector of follower and common normal at the point of contact. What I said, it is the angle between direction of velocity vector of the follower and common normal at the point of contact. This angle we call what? Phi. Is it clear? So note down, the angle between direction of velocity of follower direction of follower, and common tangent, common normal at the point of contact. Which is the point of contact? This is the point of contact. At the point of contact is called as what? Pressure angle. One more important objective question, phi for cam profile is not constant. It is varying from minimum to 0, 0 to maximum. Are you getting my point? This is objective question. One of the objective question. What about the pressure angle in the cam profile? Constant, maximize, minimize from maximum to minimum. The answer is what? It will not be constant. It is varying from what? Maximum to 0 to minimum. And wherever it is maximum, that point on the pitch curve is called as what? Pitch point. Is it clear? These are the three important terminology. Out of all the terminologies are very, very important. You can see many points. You can read from the notes which I shared. Right? This is the lift of the stroke. This is the maximum travel of the follower from its lowest position. And that lowest position is taken from what? Cam profile. Or base circle. The lowest point is taken from what? Base circle. Are you getting my point? From here to maximum lift, H max is taken from what? Base circle. This is also objective question. Now, note down motion of the follower. Right? Motion of the follower. The motion of the follower, how many types are there? Many types. Uniform velocity, simple harmonic motion, simple harmonic motion, uniform acceleration, retardation, and cycloidal motion. I think you know this thing, right? Stuff. We have the 4 types of follower motion. Note down first is uniform. When the follower is moving with some uniform velocity, you can see uniform velocity. Yes or no? If it is moving with a uniform velocity, v is equal to ds by dt. If this is constant, what about slope of the displacement diagram? Should be constant. And in which case it will be constant? When it is linear. Yes or no? Are you getting my point? This is displacement diagram. This is velocity diagram. And this is acceleration. Now here it is infinity. Why it is infinity? At the starting point, what is the acceleration? dv by dt. When the time interval is almost 0, the velocity is what? Reaches from 0 to maximum. That means acceleration will be what? Infinity. Yes or no? Yes or no? In a similar way, if I'll ask you what about jerk diagram? What is the meaning of jerk? It will also be same. This is nothing but jerk diagram. What is the meaning of jerk? dA by dt. Yes or no? Meter per second cube. Highly unstable fluctuating component. Yes or no? Are you getting my point? Okay. So first of all, we need to determine, sir, what is the displacement, velocity, and acceleration for follower which is moving with the uniform velocity? Note down y. H theta by phi a. This is the displacement where h is nothing but maximum lift or stroke. Theta is nothing but at any point angle which I need to find the displacement, that is y. And phi is what? Angle of ascent, angle of rise. What is the angle of ascent or angle of rise? During which follower is lifting up. Angle of ascent is nothing but it is the angle which is turned by the cam during which follower is moving what? In the upward direction. Similar way, v is equal to what? dy by dt. Yes or no? I can write dy by d theta into d theta by dt. So what I will get velocity? Tell me. H omega by phi a. Yes or no? What about acceleration? 0. What about jerk? 0. Note down. Very, very important. Very important. Omega is what? Angular velocity. Radian per second. Of the cam profile. Of the cam. Is it clear? Very good. This is the first profile you got to know. Note down second thing. Displacement, velocity, and acceleration diagram when it is following simple harmonic motion. When it is following simple harmonic motion. And you can see in the simple harmonic motion, what is going to be happening? There is a sine curvature or the cosine curvature would be happening, right? That's why you are having sine and cosine. But what are the equations? Equations are very important, note down. Y is equal to, I think you have discussed in the GATE examination, right? This part have been discussed, right? Y is equal to h by 2, 1 minus cos phi theta by phi a. Where is the velocity? Note down velocity. H by 2, 1 minus, sorry, h by 2 into omega. Directly I am writing, right? Pi theta by phi a into pi by phi a. So what I can write? Pi h omega by 2 phi a into sine pi theta by phi a. So you got to know, sir, velocity is what? Is following sine curvature, because equation is what? Sine. So of course, maximum will be there at the theta is equal to what? Velocity maximum will be what? At theta is equal to phi a by 2. If you put the value theta is equal to phi a by 2, what you are going to get? Maximum velocity? Pi h omega by 2 phi a. Yes or no? What is the maximum velocity here? Pi h omega by 2 phi a. Yes or no? This is what you are having maximum velocity. What about maximum acceleration? Again differentiate. Directly I am writing maximum acceleration, because those are the things which are important for objective examination. Pi square h omega. See, in the examination, if they will ask objective question, 4 multiple choice question, either with the numerical data or directly formula. If you forget velocity and acceleration, what you do? Try to find the value with the help of what? First, remember y actually. For all the 4 motion, just remember y, that is displacement. If you remember, you can differentiate. Yes or no? Yes, no doubt. This is the maximum velocity. This is nothing but maximum acceleration. Note down fast or take the screenshot so that we can discuss other 2 motions and some important other points we can discuss. After that, we will be discussing gear and gear train and this governor part and some part of the balancing in the next class. That is last class for the term and the numerical. The displacement velocity acceleration diagram when the follower moves with the uniform acceleration. Now you can see the acceleration is uniform. Yes or no? Yes. Then what is the relation? Note down. Displacement equation. Note down. 2h theta square divided by phi a square. Velocity, just note down. 4h theta omega by phi a square. And if I'll ask you where is the maximum velocity? Maximum velocity will be at what? Here, at a distance of what? Phi a by 2. Theta is equal to phi a by 2. We are going to get maximum velocity. 4h omega by 2 phi a. Yes or no? Then what we are going to get? 2h omega by phi a. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Yes or no? Correct. What about acceleration? Directly write maximum acceleration. 4h omega square divided by phi a square. Now we'll ask how we got to know whether velocity will be maximum at the midpoint of the angle of ascent. See, the uniform, it is moving with the uniform acceleration, right? Uniform acceleration. You know that a is equal to dv by dt. And where acceleration changes its sign from maximum to minimum, there only the velocity will be what? Maximum. Just like a safe force and bending moment diagram. Yes or no? dm by dx. whenever the CFO is changing its sign, there is what? Maximum bending moment is occurred. That is what same diagram we are following. Same thing concept we are following. Right? Just note on the last point on this displacement velocity acceleration diagram, when the follower is moving with some cycloidal motion. It is the best motion ever you can have. Either you have, see, gear you can have two types, two profile, involute profile and cycloidal profile. Out of that, the best is cycloidal because there is no interference occur. What is the interference? We will see in the next class. But before that, I am discussing that cycloidal because they have constructed in such a manner that whatever the stresses are there and whatever the losses are there, that is minimized. And you know that whenever it is moving with a what? Cycloidal motion, even though jerk is not infinity. Even though jerk is not infinity. And what is the relation? Y. Note down displacement value. It is somewhat lengthy. It is somewhat lengthy. So I'm just writing for displacement. You can differentiate and you can get the value of what? Velocity and acceleration. And by looking at the diagram itself, what you can suggest? What you can tell? How the velocity is varying. Just tell me how the acceleration is varying. Sine curve. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Yes. So just write what is the h by pi, pi theta by phi a minus 1/2 sine 2 pi theta by phi a. If at all, if you're not remembering cycloidal motion, no need to worry. Other three motions have to remember. In a very similar way, you can get for velocity, just do dv by dt, and you will get acceleration by dv by dt. And jerk also you can get by what? dA by dt. Are you getting my point? Yes, very good. If that is there, so let me conclude. Cycloidal motion is best possible motion. Put a note and note down. Cycloidal motion is the best motion among all motion, among all four. Hence, it can be used for high speed device. Sorry. Because when you can use in the high speed device, when jerk is less, are you getting my point? When jerk component is very less, fluctuating component is less, then only you can use, right? Otherwise, will you high velocity, high fluctuation, high noise. For moderate speed, which one we have to use? Simple harmonic motion. Whatever the velocity of this follower motion has to be there is based on the what? Speed. For high speed follower, we have to use cycloidal motion. For low speed, of a medium speed, of a moderate speed, simple harmonic motion. For low speed, we have to use uniform velocity. Now we'll ask, sir, what about uniform acceleration? We never use. Is it clear? Are you getting my point? Why not? See, I told you, right? You have not seen in the diagram. See, this is the uniform acceleration, right? This is uniform acceleration and this retardation, right? This is the diagram. Now you see in this diagram what you are getting actually. Try to observe. What about acceleration? Yes. What about jerk direction? What is the jerk? If you follow jerk, see, infinity, jerk you are getting what? Infinity, right? Very high fluctuating component. Very high fluctuating component you are getting. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? And it is very difficult to it is very difficult to maintain the uniform acceleration rather than uniform velocity. In the uniform velocity also we have jerk component infinity, but that cannot be that is possible to maintain. but here it is not possible. Are you getting my point? Okay, so I think we have just covered all the points. Okay, so whatever the next part of the discussion, we'll see in the next class, right? So I share the notes, just go through that. Yes or no? Okay, fine. We'll see tomorrow. Okay.